desired result with your name on it already exists. You just don't know how to get to it. I'm not trying to tell you that you're trying to attain a result. I'm telling you that there's a version of you that already has that result. So what you need to do right now is to close the gap between the version of you that does not have the result right now and the version of you that already has the result. I spent the first 3 years of my university time doing things that just never seemed to stick. And during the 3 months of my 400 level, I was finally able to discover a 3-step framework that I used to finally achieve my desired results. And that 3-step framework is what I'm actually going to be explaining to you in this video. It is only Cinderella that can enter Cinderella's slipper. So you must have the foot that will actually enter the shoe that is right for you. In other words, you must become the person that has the result before the result will manifest in its physical form. And there are two main ways for you to actually get yourself into the person that actually has the result. And the first one, that is practically my favorite, is that don't concept any other reality than the reality of you having the desired results. I had gotten to the point in my academic journey where I could no longer imagine myself having any other result than the result that you guys saw yesterday. I had already calculated in my head that when I have it, not if I have it though, when I have it, I had already started doing some things, where I would be positioned to talk about that result that I did not even have at the moment. But I already knew that that was the reality that I was going to. To me, that reality in the future was already set in stone. All I was just doing at that moment was doing things to get to that point. Ever in your life, waste your imagination on concepting a time where that reality does not exist. And the second one is that you need to fight every single thought that tells you that that reality does not exist. And I'm going to take you back to something that happened to me right immediately after my test one. So after my test one, there were a lot of things that were just happening to me, and I was feeling very, very down. I was quite tired, and I was lying down on my bed that evening. I cannot forget, and the devil was just like, how can you make a 5.0 with the way you're behaving? I don't know whether it was because of my constant meditation on the reality that I wanted to get. And I was just like immediately like, how can you be telling me that I will not make a 5.0 after ordinary test one? People that have written the exam are still confident about their own 5.0. How much more me that have only written test one? Immediately I reacted against it because number one, I could not concept a reality where I did not have that result. And it was something that along that time I also discovered in Pastor Paul Ignatius' book. And he said that, Lord, I ask you to deliver me from the spirit of mediocrity. Forgive my average mediocrity mentality. Lord, baptize me with the spirit of excellence. Oh Lord, in the mighty name of Jesus. So you need to configure your mind such that it can never conform to any reality that is not the reality of the person that is actually going to get that desired result that you're supposed to get. But the problem is that you can actually be the person for the job and still fail the job. So what actually happens that actually makes people to move to that desired result stage? And it's not something that I'm only noticing in academia, but it's something I've been noticing in other spheres and other niches of life as well.
I think the only reason I got rich, or the main reason, not the only reason, the main reason I got rich was because I had an unhealthy obsession with making money.
A mentor of mine once told me that you attract what you focused on. How much more something that you are now obsessed with? Obsession is just simply more like emphasized focus. When you're constantly concepting the fact that this is the result you have, this is the result you have, not even this is the result I want, this is the result that I already have. I am just doing everything in my power by the grace of God to close the gap between there and there. When you're obsessed with something, you will constantly be thinking about it. You will make sure that you align your environment to constantly remind you of the fact that this is what you're going for, this is what you're going to get, and this is the only reality that you're going to accept. And that takes me on to the Bible verse of today, which is Habakkuk 2 verses 2. And it says, "And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it." So the only way for you to run and get in that vision that you have written upon the table is to put it in a place where you know that once you see it, you'll be more like pushed to run towards it. That was something that I did during this semester. This semester was instead one of those semesters where it was kind of a little bit hard for me at some point. But that my vision board being on my table every second, reminding me of the reality that I had already. Even on the days where I know I wasn't putting in the energy, I knew that there was no other universe where by the grace of God I could not get that result. But we all have those people who have always talked about the things they wanted to do, pasted it everywhere and never did anything about it. And it is simply because they did not engage this point 3. And because of this point 3, I'm going to reveal a whole lot of things I don't think I should be saying on the internet. But anyways, you guys are my community, so I'm going to just say it anyways. So have you ever wondered when you just see testimonies like, so in my 100 level, I had a 0.38 GPA and I knew that I wanted to graduate with a first class. So what I simply did was, from my 300 level to my 500 level, I had 5.0 throughout. And you just hear it and you're like, somebody that had a 0.38 suddenly had a 5.0 from 300 level to 500 level. How? And it's simply because the person had raised the stakes. They knew that if they did not have that 5.0 from 300 level to 500 level, there was no way they were going to graduate with the first class. Some of you, the reason why you have not gotten to that your desired reality is because I'm telling you, the stakes are not high enough. The odds, like, pressure is not there yet. You're still thinking that you have time. That brings me on to one of my wonderful big confessions. So, I don't know, I've said it multiple times on this channel, I'm a first class student. But in the midst of my trials and triumphs, something began to occur with my result. After a series of multiple disappointments, I came to realize that, oh my God, I am nearing a borderline first class. And as a first class student, borderline first class is not a place you'd wish for your enemies, because any small mistake from there, a lot of things could simply go wrong. And I knew that in my heart, this 400 level alpha semester, I needed to have a first class result, and not just any first class result, a 5.0. And so the stakes were really high, because imagine now, God forbid, and the devil succeeded, but they can never succeed over my life, and I don't have that result. I will now have to change my intro to, oh, my name is Eno, and I'm a once used to be first class student of mechanical engineering. God forbid. God forbid. So the stakes had been risen, and I had a drive now to actually get the result that I wanted to get. So what you need right now is not just to be obsessed and to not just become the person that will actually get the result, but you need to develop a unique why for yourself that will actually drive you to get the result that you need to get. And that is actually the task for this video. Create a why that will actually drive you to get your academic result, that will actually push you to be better. And there are 3 ways that you can actually make the why that you're going to use that will get you the result that you want. And the first one is make it time bound. For that person now that will have the 500 from 300 level to 500 level, they knew that they had 3 years to do it. So that your why must be time bound. Not I want to show my children on one long time like that, but something that is immediate, something that will bring that immediate pressure. And the second one is something that would cause a feeling of like, wow, thank you Jesus, a feeling of pride, that kind of thing. Something that will actually cause you to feel an emotion like happiness. And third one is something that would actually glorify God. That's one of the many things that will also make God to even want to answer you much more. When he knows that result that you get, it will actually glorify him and make much more people to actually want to follow God, because they're seeing the kind of results that you're having in your life. So you need to develop a really good why for why you actually want to get that result. If not, over time your zeal is going to fade. And if you actually even follow point 2 as well, and having constant reminders around you, even when your zeal fades, those things around you will constantly remind you of the academic goals that you're actually supposed to set. But I know that every single one of you that's watching this video, not only do you want to get the result, but you want to craft a game plan for yourself with this motivation that you've gotten to actually get the desired results that you need to get. So click on this video by this side, where I go down and break down exactly the kind of questions I ask myself before I enter the semester to ensure that I actually get the desired results that I want. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much, guys, for the support in my Wednesdays video. I really appreciate it. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.